Une transplantation de rein destinée à améliorer la qualité de vie du père de Dung Lee s'est terminée tragiquement, amenant le chaos. Dung affirme que son père âgé de 44 ans est tombé malade après avoir été transplanté d'un rein à l'hôpital universitaire de Dongnan. 6 mois après cette greffe, il est mort d'une infection pulmonaire. Dung affirme également que la population des campagnes chinoises est plutôt ignorante face aux traitements médicaux prescrits. Son père était à l'origine en bonne santé malgré des douleurs lorsqu'il urinait. L'examen médical établissait pourtant qu'il était en danger de mort s'il n'effectuait pas une transplantation de rein. Le chirurgien Wen Zhexiang a encouragé le patient à accepter un rein d'un donneur âgé de 23 ans. Après la transplantation, le père a souffert à 2 reprises d'infection des poumons. Les membres de la famille ont voulu connaître la provenance du rein. Selon les chirurgiens, il provenait de l'hôpital militaire 161 de Wuhan. Voici les propos du médecin. Le rein que j'ai utilisé pour remplacer celui de votre père ne provenait pas de source habituelle. C'est un commerce privé. Il nous a dit également qu'il ne pouvait pas nous donner de reçu parce que le rein ne provenait pas d'une source légitime. Plus tard, il l'a admis personnellement. Dung s'est alors rendu au département provincial de la santé et dans d'autres bureaux pour enquêter sur la provenance exacte de l'organe. Elle a découvert que le chirurgien n'était en réalité pas qualifié dans le domaine de la transplantation de rein. Dung et sa famille ont alors déposé plainte, mais le tribunal n'a pas accepté leur cas. Quelqu'un dans le gouvernement provincial m'a répondu « Je vais vous dire la vérité, le rein provient d'un prisonnier exécuté. La source du rein est le tribunal lui-même, alors pourquoi déposer plainte ?» Ensuite, l'hôpital m'a menacé en argumentant que si je tenais à ma vie, je devais annuler ma plainte. Les coûts médicaux de la transplantation ont excédé 200 000 yuans, une somme que la famille a récoltée pour la plus grande partie en s'endettant. L'avocat engagé par la famille s'est depuis retiré suite à des menaces provenant des autorités communistes. La famille espère gagner le soutien des pays extérieurs à la Chine.
Well, the buying and selling of human organs hit home for Americans when the FBI recently arrested a New York man for trying to broker a kidney. But a CNN investigation shows that the organ trade, it's big business around the world. Drew Griffin of CNN's Special Investigations Unit, he's joining us. And Drew, it seems like Israel may be a point where all of this meets.
Yeah, it certainly is a crossroads, but this is happening all across the world, Suzanne, where desperate patients seek body parts from desperate people who are willing to sell them. In this Tel Aviv hospital room, you can see just how desperate some Israelis are for kidneys. Ricky Shea's mother is nearly unresponsive, blind. Her diabetes slowly killing her. She's been on a national kidney waiting list for years. Sitting beside her, Shea's father, Yechezkel, also a diabetic, who decided not to wait for a kidney of his own and took matters into his own hands.
And my father didn't want to be like my mother.
So in April, Yechezkel cut a deal with a man who buys and sells kidneys, a kidney broker, who for $100,000 promised new life. The broker?
Yes, the broker is not, he's a killer. He went to him and suggest him that for 2 days he became a new man. Come with me, 2 days, $100,000.
Come with me.
Yes.
To China.
To China.
Once in China, Shea says her father was taken to a rural hospital. A teenage girl was waiting there, the broker paying $5,000 for the kidney that would go to Yechezkel. The surgery went poorly. Shea captured these images on her phone of her father in what she described as a filthy hospital. The donor, Shea says, died shortly after surgery. No one knows why.
She was 18 years. She was just a child. And I understood that they gave him $5,000 for her kidney. She died.
The broker has yet to face any sanctions. Until just last year, the entire transaction was not only legal in Israel, but some state-sponsored health insurance actually paid. Nancy Shepard-Hughes studies the organ trade and says Israel has become a sort of ground zero for both legal and illegal transactions. Shepard-Hughes says that as medicine mastered the science of kidney transplant, the numbers of procedures grew. But in Israel, so too did the belief the best way to treat kidney disease was to find a new one.
There's a belief, of course, that not only is transplant better than dialysis, but that you want a living donor because it's better than a kidney that was on ice or a kidney that was under a truck.
This Israeli kidney broker insists he operates legally because he no longer finds kidneys for clients, but lets clients find their own. But he still wants his face hidden. He says Israelis have a phrase that they don't like to, quote, weaken their own. So when his own mother needed a kidney, she would not even consider the one her son wanted to give her.
Your mother, you said, she wouldn't dare take a kidney from her son.
Yes.
But she would take a kidney from a person she will never know in China.
Yes. What's so strange about that?
It says that the rich person has more of a right to their health and their life than the poor person.
This is reality. This is how it happens.
His experience finding a kidney for his mom in China was so easy. He went into the business himself, making $5,000 a deal. He says he has arranged for nearly 220 transplants, profiting more than $1 million. The new Israeli law banning brokering of kidneys has made it trickier, but says if a patient arrives at his door with a donor claiming to be a relative, he can easily send them overseas, no questions asked.
Are they really relatives?
I don't know. I don't care. I don't will deal with that.
And in Israel, relatives are relatively easy to find, especially when you have poor immigrants recently arrived in quick need of cash and patients willing to pay. Brokers can have these newly acquainted family members on an operating table anywhere in the world within weeks.
Ricky Shea says in the search for a new kidney, her father lost $100,000 of borrowed money, his pride, and like his donor, is now losing his life. His new kidney is failing.
My family is breaking.
The family is breaking, but Shea says she has no doubt the organ broker is still in business.
Suzanne, the Israeli Health Ministry tells us police there have launched several investigations now into the illegal brokering in body parts, specifically kidneys. But those who study this organ trading say the desperation that drives it on both sides makes it extremely difficult, if not impossible, to stop.